What's up, everybody? This is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com. Today we have a performance review on the Li-Ning Way of Wade 2.0. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting with the outsole, we have full-length rubber. This is kind of a weird storytelling traction pattern. It would have worked a lot better, in my opinion, if the rubber was a little bit harder. These, just like the original Way of Wades, have a very sticky rubber, so anything that's on the court is going to adhere to the rubber itself, which means that if you play on anything but a pristine court, you're going to have to keep up with that wiping pretty much the entire time that you're on the court. I did have a chance of playing these on different court conditions. Surprisingly enough, this worked well on a busy court, which was the 24-hour court, but on the high school court where there's just tons of traffic, anything that was on the floor, these things picked up. So that's probably their one downfall. I would go with something a little bit harder versus their original rubber, which is this sticky stuff that just tends to just really cling to everything. As far as traction goes on an outdoor surface, specifically speaking about this floor in general, the traction actually has been nearly perfect. I'm actually really surprised. It's just kind of pushing away any of the debris that you see on the court here, and I'm sticking to the court like glue. So outdoors, these things are great. Indoors, as long as there's no dust present, then you're perfectly fine. As far as cushion is concerned, we have a dual density foam setup. This is all within a Phylon carrier. This is basically the same exact setup, and they felt exactly the same as the original Way of Wades, but this one's just a little bit thicker, so you lose a slight bit of court feel. It wasn't anything too noticeable. They also come with this insole here, and this provides a little bit of step-in comfort. As you can see with all these different grooves and everything, they definitely contour around your foot a lot better than a typical insole would, and it breaks in a lot faster as well. So while the cushion does absorb and provide impact protection, it doesn't give you any kind of responsiveness or spring back to it. However, there is a carbon fiber plate here, which has a spring plate within the front here, which you could see in that little black line. So that's supposed to add you a little bit of spring back. I don't notice it personally, but it does definitely make the shoe a little bit more rigid and a lot more stiff when you're playing in them. The materials, in my opinion, are probably the best thing about the shoe besides the overall fit. You have full grain leather along the entire upper here, something that is definitely not used within today's shoes. This is something that I just personally love. I always have good games whenever I play in something with leather. So being that there is full grain leather on the upper, the break-in time is very minimal. Basically, as soon as you walk out on the court, these things are going to be broken in. The midsole itself definitely needs to be broken in, but the leather upper overall is pretty much there for you, and it's going to just wrap around your foot and you're going to be good to go. As far as the overall fit goes, they fit true to size. Width-wise, they are a little bit snug, but they are leather, so they're going to break in, so just give them a little bit of time. One thing that I had to replace was the laces. The laces originally were these really big, fat, thick laces, and they were just really, really stiff. Hard to get in through these little holes here, so untying the shoe just to get your foot in was a pain. Tying them up once your foot was in there was a pain, and then untying them again to get your foot out was a pain. So swapping out these laces fixed all of that, and it also made the fit a little bit more comfortable because I'm able to adjust everything a lot easier now that these are able to flow through those holes without any issue. The way that the throat is shaped, it definitely hugs and caresses that foot right around the top of your midfoot. So as soon as your laces are in there and you time everything up, you're basically going to be locked in from the midfoot back. The tongue itself never broke in, unfortunately. However, I didn't have any issues with this part pushing into my skin or into my shins. What ended up happening is once everything was laced up, the tongue just kind of moved with my foot. So I didn't have any issues with that. And as far as the ankle padding goes, I think it's awesome. This is again something that's not really featured in today's footwear, so having this back on a shoe feels very, very similar to a 90s style shoe with a little bit better performance. As far as ventilation is concerned, all we really have are some perforations along the toe box, and then we have this mesh tongue. However, the inside of the tongue is fairly heavily lined and padded. There is mesh where the mesh is on the top layer, but again, it's pretty thick, so you will be able to tie your laces up tightly. However, it's not going to allow too much airflow once everything is tied up. Most of your support's coming from the overall fit. Again, the lockdown near perfect, especially for a leather-based shoe. So support along the upper is perfectly fine in my opinion. Everything else as far as the base goes, it's very flat and smooth, so you got perfect stability there. And then you also have this giant carbon fiber shank, which extends from the medial and lateral side, so you got perfect torsional support, which also then extends up through the forefoot. So overall, you're pretty much covered. Alright guys, so that pretty much takes care of everything for the performance review on the Li-Ning Way of Wade 2.0. This is just the first of many colorways that were available exclusively within the US at wayofwade.com. The only thing that holds these back to being a near perfect performer, in my opinion, is just the outsole, like I was saying earlier. So if you want any more information, you can always go to my site, kicksoncourt.com. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support, and until next time, guys, have a good one.